It doesn't matter at what point in your life you are. You always have to take in information, process it, and store it to evolve mentally. And there are other millions of factors that influence your learning process. But there is one that has been researched more and more over the past years. Everyone knows the study lo-fi beats and the brain enlightenment music that is all over YouTube. And you may have noticed that underneath all of these videos it says music to help you study. Furthermore, many other services are being created that promise to boost your productivity and mental performance with a specific type of music. But are these claims based on actual facts? Does music help you study? And is there such a thing as brain-empowering music? These are the questions that I will be discussing in today's video, basing myself on scientific papers and on my own experiences. At the end of this video, you will know how music affects your attention, your concentration, and your cognitive performance, as well as how to find the study music that fits you best. So, let's start with what exactly science has found out until now. The effect of music on cognitive performance has actually been researched for about 80 years, but sadly there is still no clear consensus. One reason for this uncertainty is that the feelings and emotions that we connect to music are unique to every single one of us. Everybody connects different thoughts and memories to music, and this makes it really difficult to generalize any findings on how the brain is affected by music. Add on to that the factor of needing to focus, think, and perform other cognitive tasks, and you make it even more difficult to generalize the findings. Let me elaborate on this. Just as everyone is different in which emotions they connect to music, everybody also has a different attention memory capacity and working memory capacity. Make sure to remember these two terms for later. The working memory capacity can be defined as the number of items that one can store in memory for a short time. So about how many things can you think at once? This definition is from a study that was published by the National Library of Medicine, and here they also say that most people can only hold 2 thoughts in their minds, while some can hold up to 4 thoughts in their mind. The attention memory capacity basically measures your attention span, so how long and well can you stay focused on a task, thought, or text. Here again, some people are better at it, while others are less capable. Sadly, nowadays, all of us are developing a certain attention deficiency because of our constant short-format content consumption. But that's a topic for another video. Anyways, working memory and attention memory are both key factors when it comes to taking in, understanding, processing, and storing knowledge or information. Now, how exactly is this then connected to studying with music? Well, the short explanation is that listening to music automatically requires brain activity, so it takes up parts of our working and attention memory, which again, we need to study effectively. In some cases, music can activate your brain and keep it engaged. But if the background music takes up too much of your working memory and attention memory, you won't be able to study effectively. This means that for some people, listening to music while studying is beneficial because it keeps their brain active and engaged, while others can't really take this additional stimuli. More on how your personality influences the effect of music on you in a minute. Considering this variety of mental capacities, it is once again nearly impossible to generalize any findings. Therefore, the results of the recent studies all diverge. In some studies, it has been concluded that background music helps for reading comprehension, visual search tasks, and foreign vocabulary learning, as well as other cognitive tasks. But other researchers came to the complete opposite conclusions that music while studying actually impairs and disturbs your cognitive performance. And now guess what? There are also studies that found out that music has absolutely no effect on cognitive performance, neither good nor bad. To be honest, I think it is to some extent confusing that we don't know whether it's good or bad, but I also think it is pretty fascinating how such a unique and beautiful thing as music is this indecipherable. Anyhow, what exactly does this mean for you? Well, it means that it purely depends on your own preferences and personality whether or not music helps you study. You basically have to check for yourself what fits you. But don't be scared. There are some findings that can give you guidance when determining whether music is good or bad for your study sessions. A key factor that can guide you is whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. A study from 2011 found out that extroverts are generally less negatively affected by background music as opposed to introverts whose performance does take quite a hit under these circumstances. What makes me agree with this study is one experience that I've had myself. Personally, I would consider myself an extrovert, and I usually listen to music when studying. Now, I have a friend who is rather introverted, and back in 2019, we used to study maths together quite often. And every time we did, well, we would discuss whether we should listen to music while studying or work in silence. His arguments against music were that he isn't able to focus when the music is playing in the background, and my arguments for music were that studying is boring without any music. I would say that the results of this study are perfectly mirrored in this real-life example. This theory that extroverts are generally less affected by background music also synergizes well with the theory of cortical arousal states by the German psychologist Hans-Jürgen Eysenck. Eysenck researched the brain sensitivity of introverts and extroverts. And he found out that introverts are overstimulated persons, so they try to stay away from stimulating things. Extroverts, on the other hand, are understimulated, so they desire and seek more stimulation, maybe through social interactions, or in this case, through music. In summary, extroverts generally benefit from listening to music when studying because it provokes brain activity and keeps them engaged. And introverts are overloaded with stimulus, so their performance decreases. As a small side note, this brain-stimulating effect is exactly what is utilized to market study music. The problem with this is that by saying that this music helps everyone study, they basically ignore the fact that around half of the population is introverted. Therefore, I wouldn't say that the claims that are made in publicities and slogans are wrong, but that they are inaccurate and incomplete. Now, apart from your personality, the effect of music on your studying also strongly depends on what type of music you're listening to, as well as what type of task are you doing. So you can try to read an intensely packed and dense scientific text about numerical simulation of nanoparticle injection pipelines while listening to hardstyle and see how effective that is. Jokes aside, from my experience, I have learned that there are some types of music and rhythms that fit better with specific tasks. In general, many people agree that studying with music that contains lyrics is more distracting because you have to process information that you're studying, as well as the lyrics that are being sung. But now let me tell you about some of my experiences and how my brain reacts to music when studying, and who knows, your brain might work similarly to mine. When I want to take in or process information through reading, I usually don't listen to music, but rather to white noise. Because I personally really enjoy listening to music and analyzing it in my brain, so my brain just can't focus on what I'm reading and it just prioritizes the music. So music plus reading equals confused Victor. This has been shown to be the case for many other people as well in a research project that was conducted in 2010 that gave high school students the option whether to read a text while listening to music or read a text in silence. And the final results concluded that the students who chose to listen to music retained significantly less information than the ones who read in silence. Personally, I might get distracted by music when I read, but music certainly helps me with tasks that require creativity and originality. So when I create a PowerPoint for a presentation or I write a script for a new video, I feel that some good jazz music or piano music helps me unsettle my mind and freeze my thoughts. And indeed, most of the times that I come up with an idea for a video, I am listening to music. So that is my experience of how music influences my cognitive performance. However, there's one more factor that I haven't mentioned, and I think this one is pretty underrated. The factor that I'm talking about is that music is enjoyable. And if you listen to enjoyable music while studying, the process itself of studying becomes less exhausting and annoying. You'll be in a better mood and more motivated, and consequently, your brain will associate this enjoyment with studying or working, and you will become less reluctant towards it. This relates to the so-called mood hypothesis, which states that for some people it is helpful to be in a good mood when they have to retain information or work with it. So that is pretty much how music can affect your studying sessions. To answer the question if there is a brain-empowering music, I would say for some people it exists, but for the others, it can have the complete opposite effect. Now, since the end goal we all want to achieve is highly effective and productive studying, I strongly suggest that you experiment on yourself. Try different types of music that cause more or less mental stimulation to find the sweet spot of an active but focused brain. If you are introverted, try slow and simple music to not bombard your brain with stimulus. And if you're extroverted, try pushing the limit of mental stimulation until you notice that you are not learning anything. This once again teaches us that we shouldn't expect for someone to come around and tell us exactly what works for us. We have to figure it out ourselves. And that's it for today. I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and I really appreciate that you stayed here until the end. If this video helped you to gain a better perspective on how music affects our brains and our study sessions, I would love for you to leave a like and to subscribe. Anyhow, go find out which auditory circumstances help you study, and you'll be one step closer to the ultimate goal of highly productive studying. See you next time.